Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing whether university is worth it. I'm going to start this video off with talking about my own personal experiences with university. I actually have two degrees. The first one is my undergraduate degree in fine art from De Montfort University in Leicester, and my second one is my postgraduate degree in fine art from Northumbria University, so my master's degree. And that's the one that I've most recently completed. I'll first start off with my undergraduate degree. For the most part, it was a really good experience. It was really nice to be able to travel away from home, to live in a different city, and to study a subject that I was actually interested in. I found that the tutors, the facilities, everything else was really good, and a big shout out to the technicians, because the technicians were fantastic. So I did have a really good experience with my undergraduate degree. I found it really helpful in teaching me about my practice, where to take my practice, and what I can do with my artwork and stuff like that. It was really valuable. It was really worth my time and worth the money that I spent. However, when I did my undergraduate, the fees were, I think they were just above £3,000, because I was the last year in, I think it was 2010, and we were the last year that were going to get them fees, and then they were going to rise to £9,000 a year. Like £9,000 a year. So I'm talking about an undergraduate degree where I paid just over £3,000 a year for it, as opposed to the £9,000 that other people have paid. And this is based in England and Wales. I know the rest of the UK, I think Northern Ireland and Scotland. I think Northern Ireland are significantly cheaper and Scotland is actually free. And I'm not sure about the rest of the world. I know there's plenty of places where university's free and fees are significantly cheaper as well. But in England at the minute it keeps increasing and increasing. So I'll get to all the kind of figures and stuff at the end of the video. I'll try and stay on track. So yeah, for my undergraduate degree, it was worth it. I thought the teaching was really good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about art history and art practices and stuff like that. So it was really helpful. I then took a few years out just to work in the studio and stuff, and I decided to do my master's degree, so my postgraduate degree in fine art. And that's a completely different story. So I spent £10,000, give or take. I think it was just above 10 grand on a 2-year postgraduate degree. My undergraduate was 3 years. And I have to say my postgraduate degree was the biggest regret I've ever had. It was just, everything from kind of the facilities to the teaching to everything else about it, it was absolutely crap. If I could go back in time and make that decision again, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't bother with it, because it wasn't worth the money in my mind. It's a difficult one to say really, because I know fine well that people will have different experiences based on whichever university they pick. But for me, those 2 years were absolutely awful. And to think that I spent £10,000 for those 2 years of education, just no. I can't even think about it. It was such a huge mistake and definitely not worth it. The teaching was subpar. For a creative degree and a creative subject, the modules and kind of the seminars and stuff like that, it was weird. It was just kind of, they would email you a snippet of a book or something like that, tell you to read it, and then once a week we would come into the seminar, into a group, and discuss what we had read. And often the kind of literature that they sent over wasn't really relevant to what I was doing, and it wasn't really something I was interested in either. So I found it very difficult. And if you're like me, I'm much more of a hands-on person. I don't learn the best when I'm just sat in a room being told to read something and discuss it and stuff. It's just boring. It doesn't work with us. So I really struggled with that. I'm not sure how the others felt on the course or not, but for me it just wasn't working. And the facilities, the studios, and just everything about it. It just really wasn't. It wasn't what I was expecting. I had way higher expectations for £10,000. It's as simple as that. I had way higher expectations for that amount of money and for 2 years of my life. And I often found that the tutor's personal opinion and their own feelings about specifically me affected how I progressed on the course and how well I did and how they viewed my work. It's kind of a difficult one to explain because I suppose you'd have to be in my shoes to experience it. But I found it very hostile, and it just wasn't a nice time. It really wasn't. To be fair, I think I was quite depressed throughout the entire 2 years that I was there. It was really, really awful. And for me, when I'm going to study a subject that I love so much, to be then kind of discouraged or knocked off the subject and put off it, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I go to uni to expect tutors to kind of support you through what you're doing and to encourage you to progress in the field that you've chosen to do. And what I found is that I almost felt thick. I felt really stupid, and it it was just awful. I felt like they were intentionally kind of putting me off the subject and that I didn't belong there and all these kinds of things. And take into account that I did have a interview before I went to university, so they knew my practice. The tutors knew what I did and what I do and what I was like and stuff like that. But yeah, so for me, it's hard to kind of say that my MA was worth it, because to me it wasn't. My undergraduate definitely was worth it. I learnt a lot. It was a really good experience. I met some fantastic people. I also met some really shitty people. But for the most part, it was really, really good. But my postgraduate degree, my MA, it wasn't worth it at all. At all. I can't actually even think of a positive to say about it. And I know other people will have different experiences when they go to university, but just take into account that just because you're spending a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you're going to get your money's worth of education. And in my mind, education should be free regardless. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Now that I've spoken about my own personal experiences at university, I thought I'd discuss a little bit about the money side and the financial aspect of uni to see whether it's worth it now or not. If you live in a country where university is free or which is really, really affordable, then I would say university is worth it. Whether it's undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD, whatever it is, it's worth it. I would definitely recommend going because you can learn a lot. Obviously, based on your own personal circumstances, everyone's different and stuff, but for the most part, if it's free and affordable, it's worth it, and I would recommend going. However, if you live in England and Wales especially, or possibly, well, America as well, I know they have quite high fees, and any other country that does have exceptionally high fees, then I kind of struggle to find the worth in it. Even an undergraduate degree, they can charge £9,250 a year in England, and they don't have to, they can charge. That's the maximum a university can charge for a degree, and you betcha they're going to charge the top amount of money. And for me, it's disgraceful. I don't think education should be stifled by what you can afford and your financial capabilities. And many people wouldn't be able to afford to go to university for 9,250 quid a year. And some degrees are 6 years long. So that's, I don't know, quick maths. It's close to 60 grand. 60 grand. It's insane. And if you have the wrong priorities, so say you're thinking about going to university and you're wanting to go just for the kind of nightlife and to meet new people and have a good time, yeah, that's an aspect of uni, but if that's all you're going there for, it's not worth it. Don't waste your money because it's stupid. You have to have your priorities right. When you go to university, you're there to learn new techniques, new skills, new things that you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't go to university. So if you don't have your priorities right, don't go. But if you are wanting to kind of progress and learn about a subject that you're really interested in and excited about, I would give it some serious thought, because 9,250 quid is a lot of money to spend on university and on education. And when I went to university, I had scholarships, I had maintenance grants, I had bursaries, I had a lot of extra financial help. Whereas I think the government has pretty much got rid of everything. I think they got rid of the maintenance grant. The scholarship that I received was from the actual university, and the bursary I think was from the university at the time. So I'm not sure whether these things exist, but what I will do is I'll drop loads of information down below to kind of help you if you are thinking about going to university. But you just need to think whether it's worth it or not. Don't think about kind of if your mates are going and you're thinking, oh well, all my mates are going, so I may as well go. It's not that kind of thing. It's a serious thing, and it's a lot of money to be thrown away if you're not going to do it properly. If you're on the fence about it or you're not 100% sure, I would always recommend to take a year out, give it a good think, and if you still feel like you want to go to uni or you want to do some more education or anything like that, take a year out and give it a really good think. And if you still feel that way and you still feel like you want to go, then go for it. But don't go because other people are going, your best mate's going, or anything like that, because it's stupid. It really is. It's so daft. And if I was in someone's shoes where a degree was £9,250 a year, I don't think I would find it worth it. I really don't. It's too much money. It's so much money. And I know fine well that when I did my undergraduate degree and I was spending £3,000 and odd pound a year on that degree, and the next year it jumped up to £9,000. I know fine well between me studying at the £3,000 level and the next year lot and studying at the £9,000 level, there is not going to be a jump in worth. The facilities aren't going to change that much. The teaching isn't going to change that much. You're talking about an extra £6,000. You're not going to get an extra £6,000 worth of university. I know you're not. So I just find it difficult to... I find it really difficult to find the worth when university costs so much money. And I think if you are interested in university, I would recommend maybe going abroad or somewhere else where the fees are lower or the fees are free. So that could be an option, just to save a bit of money. But my own personal experiences with university, if it was still at £3,000 a year for your degree, then I would definitely recommend it and say it's worth it. If it's £9,000 a year, I can't say it's worth it. I really can't. For me, it's not worth it. I think you can be just as successful and learn just as much on your own than paying that £9,000. I don't think you're going to get £9,000 worth of education, regardless of which university you study. And if you're doing a creative degree, so if you're doing visual arts, performance arts, kind of theatre, music or anything, we have the lowest prospects in the sense of how much money we can make back. The average graduate salary is £15,184, whereas if you went to study dentistry, the average graduate salary after studying that is £34,840. So it depends on what subjects you're studying and stuff like that as well. Creative degrees, it is a tough one because I know lots and lots of self-taught artists who are fantastic at what they do and they didn't go to uni and they're very successful. So if you're a person out there who can't afford university and you're really worried that you won't be able to kind of do what you want to do and do what you want to do and do it well, then I wouldn't worry about it. There are plenty of like little courses out there that are more affordable, and there are a lot of things that you can teach yourself that will help you be successful in the career that you're doing. So to sum up, I don't think university is worth it at the price point here in some of the UK and some of the world as well. If it is affordable and if it is free, it's definitely worth it. But if they are charging phenomenal fees and you can't afford it, it's not worth it. It also depends on everyone else's kind of personal circumstances. It depends on what subject you're wanting to learn. There's a lot of variables that go into it, but for the most part, personally for me, I can't say that it's worth it. And that's based on my own personal experiences doing my undergraduate and my postgraduate. And especially my postgraduate, I wouldn't recommend that at all. But yeah, like I said, I'll drop loads of information down below to try and help you out. Lots of kind of financial help and grants and stuff. I'll list lots of links below. So hopefully you can make your own mind up of whether you want to go to uni, whether you think it's worth it. But just really, really give it a good think. Don't jump into it. Don't jump into it because other people are doing it. You have to think about it. It's a big decision and it's a lot of money to spend. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, this little chat. Hopefully I've been somewhat helpful in helping you make your mind up. If you are thinking about going to university or you've got kind of any questions you want to ask, then let me know in the comments below. Give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!